Well, the Olympics may be over, but the world faces another major sporting event with the US election just months away. Robert Patman is a Professor of International Relations at the University of Otago's Department of Politics, and he's here to give us an international update. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca.
Now, the Olympics, as I've just mentioned, they're over, but there has been some fallout. Doping was one of those things. And there's also been some debate over a Saudi woman who wore a headscarf while competing. What are your thoughts on the event?
Well, I think to take up the case of the Saudi woman wearing the hijab or the headscarf, this is a real landmark because Saudi Arabia was told by the Olympics organising committee that unless they allowed women to participate to represent Saudi Arabia, then they wouldn't be allowed to participate as a nation. And as a result, Saudi Arabia, for the first time, sent 2 women to the Games. And they had to, on strict conditions, of course, that they wore the Islamic custom of wearing a headscarf, and they did. And that caused, I suppose that, that was wide, that was very popularly received in London. The 2 women were apparently deeply moved by the ovation they got, but they've been subject to bitter criticism within Saudi Arabia. Also, an Afghan lady who represented her country has also been subject to some sort of sarcastic observations back in her home country. But both the 3 athletes in question, in contrast, have been very warmly received in the Games, and I think it represents some sort of milestone for women in some of those Islamic societies. Now, we should stress there are plenty of Islamic societies which have no problems about women fully participating and, if you like, dressing in a Western way. But some of the more conservative societies, this has been quite, the London Olympics of 2012 have been quite a landmark for them.
Do you think the Olympics helps in terms of international relations?
I'm not sure it helps. It's certainly part of international relations. Global politics has always been inextricably intertwined with the Olympics. Going back in 1936, Jesse Owens, when the black athlete, American athlete, who won 4 gold medals when it was held in Berlin, when Hitler and the Nazis were in full cry. Then we had, boycotting the Olympics during the Cold War. The Soviet Union and the United States did that to each other at various points. And in the post-Cold War period, we're now seeing tremendous rivalry in the Olympics between the United States and China. China surged ahead at the beginning of the London Olympics, and that made many Chinese commentators very excited. But America, of course, came back and won. And many people, of course, speculated in the United States this has done President Obama's re-election chances, done the power of good. And certainly Michelle Obama was a very popular figure. She stayed for the Olympics and supported the American athletes and was a very popular figure, not only with the Americans, but with many of the people present at the Olympics.
And, of course, America and China were quite competitive with their medal tallies. Do you think that kind of competition helps on a political level?
I don't think it's between the athletes themselves. I think there's a sort of respect between the actual, the athletes. But I think there's definitely an edge to it. I mean, in a sense, for China, if they had got the maximum total, if they come first, if they edged out the Americans, that would have proved that they've arrived, if you see what I mean. But they did get edged out, and some American commentators were saying, political commentators, look, we're not in decline, we still win the Olympics. And of course, people like Mitt Romney, who are worried that President Obama is going to politically benefit from the Olympics, are quick to, how shall I put it, link themselves with what's happening in the Olympics. Although Mr. Mitt Romney had a pretty unfortunate experience when he went to London and made a series of badly timed observations. He's made a few of those,
yes, one could say.
Yes.
Do you think there's a clear favourite in that race?
I think it's become more exciting in the last week with the announcement that Paul Ryan is becoming that it will be the vice president candidate on the Romney team. So he's got a young, charismatic figure alongside him, who, by the way, is a fiscal conservative and doesn't pull any punches about it. I think it's good news in the short term for Romney because it will boost his support within the Republican Party. It's no secret that Mr. Romney hasn't excited, if you like, the activists in the Republican Party, whereas I think Romney will. The bad news is that the independent voters may be turned off by what appears to be an increasingly ideological challenge from Romney and Ryan, and that may help Obama as the campaign unfolds. It's close, but Obama seems to have the edge in some of the key swing states at the moment.
Professor of International Relations from the University of Otago, Robert Patman, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thank you.